Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And it's been a while since I talked to you guys about Quant Networks, aka Q&T, by itself. But we did see an official, new website launch. I don't want to address too much about that and really kind of talk too much about that. I want to actually talk to you guys about a ton of things that are happening around Quant. I have a ton of things to talk about, so I don't want to waste too much time. I just want to really quickly tell you guys that I am, of course, recording this a little bit ahead of time, so it is scheduled to go live later. So everything is most likely going to change in terms of price. But I will say this, I want you guys to focus on something within a lot of these assets, and that is their, coin market cap ranking. Although the prices are dropping, and although we have these nice little pullbacks here and there, we are still remaining in our ranking position. For example, QNT is still holding at number 63. I'm still looking forward to seeing $30 to $50 being tested on Quant at some point in time. It's going to take a little bit of time, but I do suspect that we will get to that range at some point in time, and I definitely will be an accumulator at that point in time as well. In terms of the holders tab, we had seen a little bit of a change for once, and that was actually a decline of roughly about 600 holders, completely, or actually it was over 1,600 holders, basically just disappear off the face of the earth. And this was followed by yet a second day where we didn't really see a ton of accumulation, and then all of a sudden, the number went right back to normal. So it might have been a glitch, don't know, but it is something pretty significant to look forward to seeing if this is going to continue to happen or not. But we did see a similar, move back in May as well. So that is pretty interesting. We haven't seen that happen in a very, very long time. But I do want to really kind of continue to talk to you guys about things that are happening around the new system, if you will. So CBDCs. We've seen this, report come out. Central banks are embracing digital currencies. Will the U.S. lead or follow? Now, I do believe that it's going to take a little bit of time until we do have a U.S. CBDC. You guys can see down here, 105 countries representing more than 95% of the global GDP are now exploring a CBDC. In May 2020, only 35 countries were considering a CBDC. 50 countries are now in an advanced phase of exploration, development, pilot, or launch. Now, do you understand what I see here? I see 95% of the global GDP will be bridged within Quant and CBDCs, because Quant is the only network out there that is providing an interoperability, layer between CBDCs, the legacy system, and even DLTs in crypto. And of course, you guys can see the timeline here. You can see exactly where we are in terms of CBDCs in general. This is going to be streamlined. And we do see down here 10 countries have fully launched as digital currency, with China's pilot set to expand in 2023. Jamaica is the latest country to launch a CBDC, the JAMDEX. Nigeria, Africa's largest economy, launched its CBDC in October of 2021 as well. And you guys can see the CBDC projects down here. There's, quite a bit. And it is something significant to continue to watch for, especially as these do get streamlined. We do see down here many countries are exploring alternative international payment systems. The trend is likely to accelerate following financial sanctions on Russia. There are 9 cross-border wholesale bank-to-bank CBDC tests and 3 cross-border retail projects as well. Again, we're seeing, the downfall of SWIFT happening. We're seeing payment networks basically being ushered in. It's something significant. We do see down here, of the group of 7 G7 economies, the United States and the United Kingdom are the furthest behind on CBDC development. The European Central Bank, ECB, meanwhile, has signaled that it will deliver a digital euro by the middle of the decade, and I'm actually going to be sharing with you guys that and connect it into Quant. And of course, 19 of the group of 20 G20 countries are exploring a CBDC, with 16 already in development or pilot stage. This includes South Korea, Japan, India, and Russia, each of which have, made significant progress over the past 6 months. I'm telling you guys, pay attention to things that are changing here. And we do see here the financial system may face a significant interoperability problem in the near future. The proliferation of different CBDC models is creating new urgency for international standard setting. I want you guys to pay attention right now, especially if you are a Q&T holder, because this should make you smile from ear to ear, because when we talk about interoperability between the legacy system and the digital system, there is only one player that can do that, and that is Quant. I want you guys to pay attention here. 95% of the global GDP. That is significant. Now, let's talk about that digital euro talk. 2 weeks ago, digital euro could come as soon as 2026. Interesting. Now, of course, they are talking about, Tether, UST, and stuff like that down here. But that's not what I want to talk to you guys about. In fact, we know that a digital euro is on its way. We know that a digital euro is most likely going to happen before 2026. It will happen sooner, rather than later. That's usually exactly how these things work. But what I want to talk to you guys about is the significance of a digital euro. And we actually see over here, payments giant Nexi says it is working on a digital euro with the European Central Bank. Interesting. You guys might be wondering, well, what does this have to do with Quant at all? Well, Nexi. This goes back to September, by the way, September of 2021. Nexi is pretty large. So Nexi CEO Paola Bertoluzzo said the Italian payments firm is contributing to the design of the European Central Bank's proposed digital currency. The ECB outlined plans for a digital version of the euro in July, aiming to complement the existing monetary system rather than replacing physical cash. Central banks around the world are actively working on or exploring their own central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. Okay, interesting. Now, let's connect all of this back to Quant, because Nexi is the key link here. Nexi is the one to focus on. So Nexi SIA. If you guys missed it, so SIA, which is a massive giant, SIA was connected with Quant, and here we have that announcement going back to 2019. SIA partners with Quant Network to explore blockchain interoperability for banks and financial institutions. The agreement aims to integrate the SIA chain infrastructure into Quant's network's blockchain operating system over Ledger. Since the European launch of our private infrastructure SIA chain, we are at the forefront of innovation in blockchain technology with a high performance and secure architecture and a clear governance model, says Danielle Sever. I'm hoping that I'm saying that name right. But anyways, this was huge. Now remember, SIA went on to rebrand with Nexi. Nexi and SIA are working together. Nexi is again confirmed working with the digital, European Central Bank on a digital euro. Now again, pay attention to the links here, because again, when we look at what they are focused on and what SIA is building with Nexi, it is significant, and they are going to need an interoperability bridge here. There is only one name that comes to mind, and that is Quant. And also Nexi just announced, now this was just 1 day ago, to buy Bank Payment Unit for $412 million. Now, this is pretty significant as well, because we do see here the deal will see Nexi purchase the point of sales operations of both companies, giving it access to a network of more than 111,000 retailers. This is huge. Now, again, we do see down here, the bank may use the proceeds from disposal to speed up de-risking and restructuring. The acquisition comes at a time when the European payments industry is consolidating, with banks selling off their own units and specialized, players adding to their business. Nexi's aim is to buy the payments assets from its banking partners while keeping the relations and contracts in place with the banks. BPR, Italy's fifth largest bank, said in the settlement that, in a statement, that its payment business handled 13 billion euros worth of transactions in 2021 through a network of roughly 150,000 card machines. The company said it had formed a long-term strategic partnership with Nexi as part of the sale, letting it keep significant exposure to the business or for the scope of the agreement. Now, again, this is massive. 111,000 retailers, 13 billion euros per year. That's pretty significant. The fifth largest, Italy bank. Now, I want you guys to understand that Quant will essentially be a player here. As we usher into a digital age, and once we talk about, again, a digital euro, that's where, interconnectivity comes in. Now, Quant is also talking about, the Bank of England. We do see here, by taking a broad and measured approach to assessing the CBDC design requirements, the Bank of England can ensure that the UK gets the best rather than the worst from a digital currency. And then also we did see yet another, tweet from them, saying as we celebrate the Platinum Jubilee marking Her Majesty, the Queen's 70-year reign, we value sustainable growth and long-term stability. A UK CBDC could unlock new efficiencies, international trade, and financial inclusion for decades to come. Now, of course, these are two articles that they are talking about here. This goes back to January of 2022, how the Bank of England can reap the benefits of a digital currency. We've talked about this a little bit. There's a ton of benefits to a CBDC for a lot of these major corporations and things like that. This is basically the age of digital transformation. With a well-balanced, considered view of potential adaptation, it left room for different possibilities. Perhaps a U.S. CBDC will not emerge as all, encompassing solution like the one currently being, trialed in China that displaces retail banks and cash, but as a hybrid solution that dovetails with our expectations for privacy, security, financial inclusion, and regulation. Now, again, when we talk about interconnectivity here, we still need that connection between digital assets and domestic systems. And Quant basically is that key player here. And of course, you guys can see the benefits here. A lot of it is focused on payments and security and things like that. I think that when we talk about things happening right now, specifically within, CBDCs, it is definitely focused on, again, for example, England, the U.S., Ireland, if you will, some of the major four, if you will, for the most part. We also talk more so about like Australia and things like that. There's a ton of things to continue to look at here from Quant. I definitely want to focus on a lot of things. I might do a deeper dive video on their new, website because there's a ton of like sort of, little Easter eggs that they did release. So that's definitely, interesting as well. But I do want to wrap this up by just saying one last thing, and that is from Oracle themselves. Who better than blockchain startups to innovate new use cases for technology? Meet the startups disrupting their respective industries and making blockchain easier to use. And they actually labeled Quant as one of their major ones in terms of interoperability and things like that. And we actually did see Quant actually quote this, I believe, or I think that Quant actually posted about them. But basically, they were talking about how it is being utilized for massive, again, interoperability layers between banks. And we actually do see here the solution is used by major European, firms like KPMG to bring the security and flexibility of blockchain to the financial sector. Honestly, when we look at what Quant's doing, to me, it's just easy to understand the vision and see the vision. And that's why, like I say, this at for example, $30 to $50 is like a no-brainer move for me to accumulate. And even at like $65, it's also extremely, cheap. But, why not maximize and capitalize on the market kind of giving us better opportunities anyways? So to me, if you're a long-term holder, this price is screaming buy. If you're a short-term holder, you might want to wait a little bit for, some lower price action because I do believe that we will see that $30 to $50 range being tested. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are on this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.